Howdy, hello, everybody. Coming to you cordless from glamorous Minneapolis. It's Friday night, June 12th, 2026. I am Jim Peters. Welcome to another edition of Jim Peters Tonight. This is episode number 360. Mark your scorecards at home. And yeah, I actually am wearing a shirt that's not black. How about that? So, no, I don't wear the same shirt on the air every day. I got about a dozen of them, and they're all the same, and they're all black. This one's blue. Holy Christ. All right, our guest for tonight, Ralph Basaglia, had to reschedule, and I have the feeling this is going to be happening more and more all summer. It's like we're dealing, folks. That's what we do. We deal. So we're rescheduling him for a week after next week. We have a full week next week. Don't have a guest on Monday. Now we do shows now 4 nights a week, Thursday, Monday through Thursday for sure. This is Friday, and we're doing a show tonight because we missed both Monday and Wednesday, or Thursday. Thursday yesterday was planned, Monday wasn't. So I pretty much had to, and I'm playing with doing this anyway. So we're going to see how this works out. I don't want to announce it for certain, but at any rate, next Tuesday, author Richard Lyons is joining us. His new book is called The DNA of Democracy. On Wednesday, filmmaker Michael Pack will be here. This is his second appearance on the show. He's going to be talking about his new documentary. And on Thursday, author and priest Andrew Fox is going to be here. And I didn't write down the name of his book, and I should have. I think it's something about how stupidity is destroying American culture or something like that. Anyway, this is going to be kind of interesting. This is his fifth book, too. He's had some interesting books. He wrote a book about weddings as a priest, and I got to talk to him about that because as a DJ, I've DJ'd hundreds of them. I mean, this is years ago in my previous life, but still, I did it. So, and I have made some, appraisals about weddings based on that experience. So I want to check with him on that. Today, as of we're taping this at 4 p.m. Central. Donald Trump says he thinks they have a deal in Iran. I'm very sketchy about all this. I am now, but he says that the Iranians have pretty much agreed to all the American demands, and if they have, that's really true, and if it holds, because that basically means a sea change in that country. That country was set up to take over the world and spread Islam across the globe. You have to understand that's actually in their constitution. I'm not just saying that. That country was set up to do that, and by extension, to basically destroy Israel and the United States. That's their goal. So if they've decided they're going to actually agree to this and stick to it, that basically means that the religious component of that society has basically been taken out, and that's probably true already. I mean, a lot of people are saying I'm watching the cable news, and they're saying that the reason Iran is doing this is because basically their economy is completely collapsed. They have nothing, and they know that if the Americans were to go through with their threat to bomb their infrastructure, they're toast completely. And but it'll be interesting. Now, the thing is, if you've been following the show, I've been saying too that the major oil companies are saying that, matter of fact, like only a few days ago, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, the CEO of Exxon said that even if the war ended tomorrow or this week, it would take 4 months for everything to get back to normal. But if you do a little calendar math in your head, if we solve this by this weekend, if this actually gets signed up and put in a bow by this weekend, that gives the administration just enough time to get their ducks in a row for the midterms. And what that means is basically that gas gets under $3 a gallon, where it was before, or certainly under 4 for sure, or 3.5. Yeah, I mean, it's almost, you probably forgot about this. We had gas in February at under $3 a gallon nationwide. So that's and people are going to vote their pocketbook. If that happens, if they're successful in doing this, there's a very good possibility, I would even say probability, that the Republicans will hold both the Senate and the House. And regardless of what Trump has said, he said He says, I don't care about the midterms. I'm doing this because it has to be done. I'm starting to think this whole thing is just a ruse. I'm starting to think that they know the Iranians are going to bust this agreement, but by doing this agreement, even temporarily, they will be in a good position for the midterms, because after that, all hell can break loose. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me as if after the midterms, even if this arrangement holds with the Iranians, that we bomb Iran anyway. Wouldn't surprise me. I know that sounds brutal, but the thing is, you can't trust these people to throw them. You can't. And that's what they do to gay people. They throw them off buildings. So anyway, my prediction doesn't matter, but the thing is, I'm proud of this stuff because I've been right like 80-90% of the time. So I try to go with the flow here, and I don't have any problem admitting when I'm wrong, but we'll find out. We'll see how that goes. SpaceX went public today. You probably know that it closed at $160, which was 20% up from their opening price. This didn't get this got the news that's Elon Musk became the first trillionaire on Earth. What didn't make the news much, you might have heard this, maybe not, is that 4,000 employees of SpaceX became instant millionaires, and 400 of those people actually ended up with over $100 million each. And some of the people who were millionaires were actually cafeteria workers and welders. I mean, this is actually, the rank and file people, but they've been there since the beginning. And so I have no idea what formula they used. Usually they use tenure, and I guess maybe that's what they did here. But yeah, there were cafeteria workers that made them over $1 million today, and that's pretty cool, And people say capitalism doesn't work. Yeah, capitalism has a lot of flaws, a lot of flaws. I consider and I can name them, but it still works. At least it works. And speaking of capitalism working, and I'm not the only person who's noticed this either. If you get on Twitter or Facebook, uh, and check the comments of the Europeans that are coming over here for the World Cup, they are astonished at American life. It's like, there are pictures of people outside of Buc-ee's in Texas, and people going to supermarkets and Target. And you have to understand, folks, and I know this because I've been over, my family's from Eastern Europe. I go over there all the time. They don't know anything about this. Every time my relatives come from Eastern Europe, I take them to Target because it blows their mind. Yeah, this is a typical store. I'm not showing you this. This is no show. I mean, supposedly when Khrushchev no, not Khrushchev. Oh God, what's his name? Not Khrushchev. Goddamn, the guy who tagged along with Gorbachev when he came over to the United States in the 1980s. He went to a typical grocery store, and he said he knew at that moment, walking through that grocery store, he knew that the Soviet Union was finished. He said, because this was a typical store, and he said, we had nothing like this in Russia. Nothing. He didn't say it at the time, but he said it in his autobiography. He said, I knew at that moment we were done. Yeah, because the thing, you take this for granted. You try going over there, man. They don't have, I won't say they don't have shit. They do have shit, but not a lot. They don't have what we have. They don't, you know? It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. There's a piece in foxnews.com today by Victoria Coates about the fact that, and she is saying what Jonathan Lockwood on this program has been saying for about a year and a half, and that is finally, the Western press is starting to recognize the fact that Ukraine is actually winning the war against Russia. It's like no one still knows how this is going to play out until the end. But the fact of the matter is, right now and for a while, the Ukraine is winning, and they're winning because of their stellar technology. They build these drones. Now you have to understand. Now we're buying drones from them. Not only that, it's that they're training our military personnel. We go over there and we don't fight. We go over there to get trained. We are sending a military personnel to Ukraine, and Ukraine is training us how to do this. I mean, it's really amazing. This little country, and Coates says um, uh, it's because Trump basically belittled Zelensky when they first started their relationship. That Trump and Vance were telling him, "You don't have your shit together. Get your freaking shit together." And apparently, Zelensky took him at his word, at their word, and he did. So I mean, yeah, you have this little country that's actually beating the crap out of a supposed superpower. I don't know how superpower it is. I mean, Lockwood's brought this up here, and I've confirmed this with other people. The Russian army is still using donkeys for transportation. Yeah, you heard me right. They're using donkeys. I mean, you go back. He was just on a couple of weeks ago. We have Lockwood on here about once every 6 weeks for military stuff. He's basically like the General Keane of from Fox News. He's our General Keane here, and brilliant man. Lockwood is. And, yeah, so he was on for a couple of years, he did a podcast, and they got a lot of play, a lot of press because it was the only podcast on the Ukraine war that from an American podcast that actually had a person in Ukraine on it. But yeah, it's like, this is, and he talked me into the fact that Lockwood. I thought like everybody else. I thought when they started this war, the Russians said it was going to be over in 3 days. I gave them 2 weeks, and most other people did too. But Lockwood was saying, no, 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 they're going to win, and it's like, yeah, apparently he's right. You know, Although no one can predict the future. The coach said in this article, which I found really interesting, and I'll pass this on to you. This is the type of stuff I like to talk about because you won't hear this anywhere else. She said that internally, the Trump administration officials have told her they have spent more time on the Ukrainian war than any other topic. That takes up the majority of their time, or not the majority, but the most time of any single thing they do. So it's like because even Trump was saying when he got reelected, he said, "Well, I'll have this thing solved in a week," and of course he didn't. And I think he was surprised. He was, but Russia's in a strange place, man. It's like um, apparently Putin's health is not good. It looks like he absolutely refuses to lose this. Although Lockwood is saying he could see them actually declaring victory and just going home and then just insisting they won, even though they don't. And that's true. That might happen. But wow, I mean, it's amazing. Superpower? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's like get on your donkey, It's like let's go for a ride. Yeah, sure. So CBS News, along with YouGov, did a survey in the last couple of weeks on Americans' attitudes toward UFOs. And so here's some of the statistics. 63% of Americans now say they believe in intelligent life on other planets. And this is up considerably over the last 30 some years. In 1997 it was 48%. In 2017 it was 56%. And now it's 63%. When asked when you think we might have contact with other intelligent life in the universe, 46% said in the future, 33% said never, and 21% said we already have. Okay, that's fascinating. All right. When asked what UFOs are, the response was remarkably split. 51 said that they might be alien spacecraft, and 49% said they're always natural human activity. That's interesting. So pretty much the public is pretty much splits 50-50 on that. So when the people who were asked who believed on intelligent life on other planets answered that question of what UFOs are, 72% of them said they were alien spacecraft. And finally, when it came to the idea of a UFO cover up by the government, a whopping 84% said they believe that the government knows more than it's telling. 84%. Steven Spielberg's movie, The Day of Disclosure, comes out today. Um, I'm starting to think I'm gonna go see it just because people are saying the advanced buzz is that it's a good movie, and I'm up for a good movie. The fact that I mean, I've up till now, and it still might be true. It might just be a horror movie with aliens, you know, and I'm probably not going to learn very much, but still, I may or may not see it. The one thing that apparently people have been talking about a lot is the fact that the um, Spielberg is using the concept of screen memory in this movie, where the um, the aliens appear to people, but they look like elk and deer. They look like common animals, but and that's being projected into their minds. And supposedly that happens quite a lot. And deer are apparently the most common substitute for the aliens. Uh, in other words, there's a gray alien standing in front of you, but what you see is a deer, and the alien can do that with your mind. So, I don't that's not magic, and that might not even be telepathy. That might just be technology. I keep getting back to this. They might be 2 million years ahead of us. Yeah, you wrap your mind around that. You haven't even had your iPhone for 20 years. You know, give that 2 million years. The iPhone won't just be embedded in your head. It'll probably be part of your working brain, you know. And the other thing too, I'm not the only person who talked about this either, about the fact that, okay, so I'm bringing this all full circle here. So SpaceX went public today, and there's people who say that government contractors have actually busted the concept of anti-gravity, which means that SpaceX's whole method of getting into space is basically pushing fuel out the back of a spacecraft, excuse me, might be completely obsolete. So you're looking at the concept. The idea here is that, and I don't know if I don't think this will happen the next year, but that somewhere down the line, 5 or 10 years from now, that if this actually comes out or this is commercialized, that your SpaceX stock might be worthless. And the really interesting thing about this, and I find this really fascinating. Elon Musk has said, and it's right. He says if any person on the planet should know about aliens, it should be me. And he's right about that. He says he doesn't know anything. He says that he does not buy it. He doesn't buy it. He doesn't think the UFOs are spacecraft. He doesn't think that. He said, I should know if they are, and I have seen no evidence of it. And I actually believe him. And I don't know, I don't know if that's because he doesn't want to believe it, but he's a super rational guy. How do you think they get those rockets up into space? Especially considering the fact he's beating the crap out of anybody who's trying to compete with him. That's the one thing about SpaceX as a commercial enterprise. Last year or the year before, can't remember which one, 24 and 25, they launched 199 commercial space flights into orbit, all perfectly. None of them blew up, none of them crashed. Every single one was delivered perfectly. So I mean, he's beating the pants off of not just Blue Origin, but even the U.S. government. But he says he's never seen any evidence of this at all. And so I find that really kind of fascinating. I really do. And I believe he's telling the truth, but I don't know. Because that's the only thing I've been saying here for 30 years is that the American government, the American military, has at least 9 crashed extraterrestrial spacecraft, and that apparently, according to Hal Puthoff and Eric Davis and some other physicists, scientists, that's apparently a true statement. Puthoff said 10, so and he just said that like a month ago. And I don't know how I think these guys are getting more and more bold about it. I don't think they're supposed to be talking about this stuff legally. I don't think so, you know. So I don't know what's going on with the disclosure thing. I think they're just either the government's giving them permission to say this stuff under the table, or else they're busting their security agreements. I don't quite get it. I don't. All right, so we're going to end this week with this. Believe it or not, this was in Popular Science. Raccoons apparently are now domesticating themselves in urban environments. This is your urban raccoon, not your rural raccoon. They're starting to move in with humans, in other words. Now, this is what happened to cats 10,000 years ago. We did not domesticate cats. Cats domesticated themselves. They actually they realized, oh my god, there's all this grain in this house and all these mice, and the cats moved into the house to get the mice, and everyone said, oh my god. It's like let's keep these things around, and the next thing you know, you got a stupid cat in your house. No, I'm a cat lover, and I've had cats for years and years and years, and a bunch of them too. And like, man, they're goofy. But so now raccoons apparently are doing the same thing. But the problem with raccoons as pets, and more and more people are adopting them as pets, is a problem. They have two particular problems. One is they're nocturnal. In other words, they're up when you're asleep, which means they're up running around and they're up causing trouble while you're asleep. There's that. And secondly, they got little dexterous little hands. They don't have thumbs, but they have fingers. And they're good at all sorts of opening all sorts of crap. I find this hilarious, this whole thing. So while you're sleeping, your raccoon is in the kitchen trying to open and probably succeeding at opening a jar of peanut butter. that's, and so the people who are like started doing this, adopting the raccoons, yes, they're very annoying, and a lot of people don't like it. They end up not liking their raccoons. Geez, who would have thought that would have worked out? Oh God. All right, so it's Friday. We do hardly ever do a Friday show, but we're doing it right now, and now we're closing it up. So I hope you guys have a nice weekend. Like I said, we don't have a guest on Monday. We'll be doing our usual Jimcast then. Tuesday we got Richard Lyons. Wednesday Michael Pack, filmmaker, and Thursday author and priest Andrew Fox. Also want to announce this too. We're doing shows on Tuesday and Thursday night on TikTok. Jim Peters Live. My handle is Jim and Night there, where it is everywhere. They're at 10 p.m. Eastern. We did one last night. We got about 1,500 likes. A couple hundred people showed up. It was actually pretty cool. I mean, it's starting to get. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback on this, and we're going to do at least 2 a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We might at some point expand to Saturday or maybe Sunday. I don't know. I don't know that, but yeah, we're doing 2 a week right now. So yeah, so check us if you're on TikTok. Check us on that too. It's like I got them. It's fun for me. We can't go over an hour because that's the TikTok limit for a live show. I don't have to prepare. It's like I talk to the folks talk to me, and we have a good time. And yeah, that's on TikTok on Tuesdays and Thursday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern. And that's our show for tonight and this week. My God, so fast. It's summer. Good night, Uncle Donnie, wherever you are. And good night to you, wherever you may be. You guys have a nice weekend. I'll see you on Monday, okay? Take care.